What's going on, everybody? We're live again today. We're going to talk about a very important subject. We're going to talk about pricing and packaging for your coaching services. I'm really excited for this one because I've got a great story to share with you. If you're watching this on Facebook, please know that I don't see your names when you're leaving a comment. So just write your name plus your comment just so I can see who's saying what and I can address your questions accordingly. Uh, I know I've talked about some of the points we're going to touch on today previously about pricing. Like, you'll hear me talk about pricing so often because I think it's such an important topic. But today I want to give you a specific example of why packaging can make or break your business. So you can have all the followers in the world, a bajillion followers, but if you don't have the right package, if you don't have the right coaching model, you might be leaving a lot of money on the table. Okay, so we're going to do this completely freestyle. I don't prepare these in advance because I've done this time and time again with my clients. I know what I'm talking about. And I want to hopefully leave you by the end of it with a pretty good idea of what kind of coaching packages that you can offer for your service, what price point you can offer them for, and maybe give you some ideas of how you can be making more money. Let's say you're charging like $100 or $200, whatever an hour right now for your service, and you're not really making a full-time income, then there's something missing there, right? So we want to make sure whatever pricing package you have enables you to make a full-time income, okay? That's what we're going to focus on. I'm not here to make you a couple of $100 here and there. If that's what you're interested in, this is not a good live stream to follow. In fact, this whole group is not something to follow. I want to make you as much money as possible for as little possible time, okay? If that's what you're interested in, tune in. We're going to talk about some examples here, okay? Let me know if you can see me, you can hear me just fine, because the last thing I want to do is ramble for a whole hour and nobody can hear me. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start with an example of one of my clients because I like giving proof of what I'm talking about, and then I'll show you why packaging made such a huge difference, okay? Let me share my screen here. All right, so one of my clients, one of my first clients actually, her name is Monica. So Monica, she's a career coach. She helps people find jobs, and she really enjoys that process. She has, I don't know how many years of experience. She's got, let's say, about 8 years of experience being a career coach. She's a what's it called, a headhunter as well. So she's been doing this for quite a while, right? Now, here's the kicker, right? Monica is amazing in what she does. She's extremely passionate. She helps people in Latin America get jobs. When you look at her followers, where did they go? She had 80,000 followers. I think she removed a lot of the bots that were following her. Now she's at 25,000, right? I gotta ask her what happened. Yeah, she just made a post about having $78,000 and now she's erasing, right? Erasing the followers. Anyway, point being, with that many followers, right? She was like, you know, you would assume someone with that many followers is making a shit ton of cash. They're making all the money in the world. Nothing's holding them back. And I see so many people who are like followers over and over and over again. They get in this rut of how do I get more likes? How do I get more comments? How do I get more followers? That's going to make me money. When I was working with Monica, she had 80,000 followers at the moment, and she wasn't making any income, barely any income. Okay. She came to me saying, Yasser, I'm having issues filling up my webinar at $25. I'm having trouble people paying me $100 an hour for my service. Now imagine, there's so many of us right now who are trying to build a personal brand. We're trying to get to the first 3K, 4K, 5K followers, then 10K, then 15K, 20K. We think once we reach a specific number, we can start making cash. It doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't, right? I can give you Monica's example. She had all these followers and she could not monetize them. This is why I say you don't need a huge following. You don't need to wait till you have a brand. None of those things, okay? So when Monica came to me, she said, listen, you have nowhere close to the amount of followers I have. How are you making money? And how am I not making money? So I ran it through my program, right? And in my program, we discuss everything from you have a business, how do you package your services, how do you make money, how do you get leads? And believe it or not, someone with 80,000 followers was struggling to get leads, right? How do you get those leads? How do you package them? And how do you prepare a program where you're not spending 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours a week spending time on your clients, because if you have a full-time job, you can balance that. So from starting from a place where she was frustrated, not knowing where her clients were going to come from, despite having all these followers, to wanting to generate income, we touched base on lead generation. We helped her package her services. We helped teach her how to actually have those conversations with people. How do you actually communicate the value of what you offer, right? I think about 6 weeks after finishing the program, I will show you right here. Where is it at? There we go. That is a screenshot from my coaching academy. You can see Monica up here. She said, I want to share with you all the win because this wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for Yasser's Bootcamp. I have 12 people enrolled, $1,000 each, $12,000 generated in 6 weeks. $12,000 in 6 weeks. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen with you. I've had clients who've made $20,000. I've had clients who've made $10,000, $5,000. So it depends on how much time you have, how hard are you willing to work. That's entirely up to you. But I'm just showing you what's possible here. I wanted to show you this proof because people keep saying, right, eventually I'll get to this point. Eventually I'll have enough followers, enough likes. No, there's never going to be that time. Stop chasing the numbers. Stop chasing the followers and the likes, okay? So if that's not proof enough, I don't know how much proof you need. Don't chase the followers. The other thing with Monica we really had to work on was the packaging and the pricing. No more $100 services. Nothing under $1,000. I started her off at $1,000 because I said, listen, if you're going to work with me, if you want to make your money back working with me, I can't have you charging $200. I can't have you charging $300. It's going to be $1,000 bare minimum. I actually push at $1,500, but she works with people in Latin America. So she was like, there's a conversion problem, blah, 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 blah. Can I start at $1,000? I said, sure. So I'm pretty sure the price is up significantly since then, right? We started and we made her $6,000 since then, and she's probably made a crap ton more from then. So I wanted to give you that that proof that this is something that's possible, that you don't have to always, you don't have to charge cheaply. You don't have to charge cheaply for your services. You can charge a lot more, okay? And this is what I want to show you. How do you package your services in a way where it comes across genuine, where it comes across a good value to them, okay? So let's talk about that. We're going to touch on some package models that I see and I'm not a fan of and what I would recommend. Let me just share my little visualizer here for you. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let's touch on some of these coaching packages. The most common one that I see is going to be the 3-tier model. And if you go to any coach's website right now, maybe yours as well, chances are you might see something of this sort. It'll look like, let's say $200, it'll say $500, and it'll say $750, something of that sort, okay? We'll take the example of career coach. Let's just assume you're doing career coaching. So it will be something like resume rewriting or LinkedIn, okay? So these things for $200. And for $500, you get resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn, just as an example. For $750, you get resume, cover letter, LinkedIn, and what else? I don't know, interview practice, whatever. And these things will usually be on your website, all right? This is exactly what Monica was doing as well. Now, why is this a problem, right? You might think, well, I'm being totally transparent with my prices. I should put my prices up there, let my client choose one of them, and go from there. The problem here is twofold. So number one, you're letting your client diagnose their own problem. Rarely would they pick the most expensive option. Why? Because they're just looking at the price. Okay, I get these things for this much, these things for this much, these things for this much. They're only thinking of the features of the product. If you've ever done sales before, never sell on the features, sell on the result, okay? So if you ask them, what do you want to buy? It's kind of like a patient walking into a doctor's office, and doctor's like, so which medication do you want? They're not going to do that, right? They're not going to let the patient prescribe their own medication. They're going to advise which package is the best. So when you have these prices available to you on the website, the problem tends to be your client will make a choice based on what they're willing to pay instead of what they actually need. So maybe they need the interview practice, maybe they need the LinkedIn, the resume, all of that stuff, but because they only want to spend $200, they think that this can solve their problem. They might get a $200 resume from you, not get a job, and say, well, I paid this guy $200 and it didn't work, right? Because their problem wasn't solved. So I'm not a fan of 3-tier models, specifically because it allows your client to diagnose their own problem. Instead, what I recommend is having some sort of a calling link or something to get them on a call with you, and you diagnose it for them. You ask them what challenges are they having. If they're looking for a resume, why are they looking for a resume? If they're looking for LinkedIn, why are they looking for a LinkedIn, right? You'll have so many people who come to you and say, I just want a resume, I'm good. Now, you don't want to be an order taker, okay? This is a word I really, really live by. So this is something you don't want to be. Not at all. You don't want to be, hey, I want this. Okay, I will provide this. Why don't you want to do that? Because again, you're letting your client diagnose what they want, right? You are not being an expert. You're not being an advisor. To be a good coach, you have to be a good advisor, not only after you coach them, but also when they're picking their coaching program. What's best for them? So if they come to you and say, I want a resume, and you say, great, I'll give you a resume, you haven't solved their problem. You have simply provided them their order. You have fulfilled the order. Instead, if you say, why a resume? They'll say, well, I can't find a job. Okay, why can't you find a job? Well, I don't have a good resume. All right, have you tried anything else? They'll say, no, I've only tried my resume. I've shot it to 500 different places. Maybe the resume is not the problem. Maybe the problem is your job searching strategy. Do you want to then explore a job searching strategy package? So you see how diagnosing their problem will get you much further than having your packages available upfront for them to see and choosing whichever one fits their budget. Rarely will people pick the one that will actually solve their problem because they're buying based on price. You don't want people buying only on price. Why? Because their problem does not get solved. You work with a client who's expecting certain things. They think if they buy the resume package, their job searching problem is going to get solved. So maybe they pay you $200 and their job searching problem is not solved. And they're like, well, this person, they don't really know what they're doing. So when it comes to packages, don't make these available on your website unless you get a crap ton of traffic. You have a shit ton of people coming to your website. You don't have the time to get on a call with people. You're just selling some sort of an online course. You want it to automatically go through. Then you can do this. I still wouldn't recommend it. I don't do anything under $1,000. Well, I don't do anything under, my rates are much higher than that. So I don't have any of this anywhere because I don't sell a course, right? I don't have a $200, $500 course, anything like that. So I don't need anything like this. I would recommend, let's say you have a coach, a package you're considering. You have a $250 course and you have a $2,000 coaching package, right? I strongly believe that your focus should be entirely here. Why are you trying to sell a $250 course when you can sell a $2,000? Believe it or not, this one is so much easier to sell. The $2,000 package is so much easier to sell. Why? Because you're giving a lot of value. You're changing someone. People aren't paying you for the information you provide, but with the transformation you take them on. That is what you will provide here. So the transformation is so much easier to sell than a video course or something like that. Now, everybody's looking for the easy way, right? How do I get passive income, blah, blah, blah. That's all great. But $250 is not going to get you there unless you've got a massive following, all right? So 3-tier model, not a fan of that. The other thing I'm not a fan of is the one-on-one coaching package. All right. Now, this can be in a variety of different ways. So you can have 3 sessions for $750. Let's assume that one. Or what else have I seen? It'll be session by session. So some people even charge by the session. So it'll be $100. Hey, do you want to book another one? $100 again. So every single time you want more income, you have to do another sales process with the client, right? It's so much easier to just sell them up front on 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, all or nothing kind of thing, instead of reevaluating every month. Hey, do you want to extend? Hey, do you want to extend? Hey, do you want to extend? Because your income is not fixed. So streamline this process. How can you sell it to them? Now, I am not a fan of one-on-one in general. If I do one-on-one, I do it at a very, very high premium because firstly, my group coaching program is way superior to my one-on-one program, way superior across the board. It might be hard to believe, but the community we've built, my clients get access to me and everyone else who has followed the exact same steps. So let's say you're a career coach and you want to start a career coaching business. I have 24 career coaches that I'm coaching right now who have followed the exact same blueprint step by step. So instead of just asking me, you have 17 other people who can give you perspective. Hey, when I was trying to get clients, I did this worked. When I was doing a webinar, I was doing this, that worked. You get so much different perspective. The other reason I don't do one-on-one is because of time, right? So if I'm doing $200 an hour, let's suppose that, okay, per hour, and I want a client for, let's say, 8 weeks. So every week, that is 1 hour of my time per week, right? And I'm going to do that for the next 8 weeks. If I want more clients, let's say I want 10 clients a month, that's 10 hours. 10 hours a week. And by the way, 10 hours a week is just the coaching. Then you're spending time on marketing. You're spending time on LinkedIn. You're spending time on email marketing. You're spending time making your actual course material, following up. So it actually becomes a full-time thing, let alone if you're doing this on top of a full-time job. So if you're doing a full-time job, you don't have time, then doing a one-on-one model on top of that, you're not going to be able to scale your business, okay? There's only so much time you have. You will drive yourself crazy trying to get one-on-one clients, which is why I promote a group program instead. So imagine instead of doing $200 an hour, you have a $2,000 program or a $5,000 program and a group program, right? So think about it kind of like this. Think about it like a university, okay? Now, everyone who comes to a university, they sit in a class for 6 months or whatever. How much do they pay for that class? So $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever, kind of for like a semester, right? Let's take $3,000. It doesn't matter how many people there are in the class. Everybody is going to pay $3,000. That is the model we follow because we're teaching everyone the same journey. We're taking them from one starting point to the ending point. They don't have a job. They'll get their interviews. They'll get their jobs, whatever. Maybe they don't know how to sell. Now they're selling more. They're getting on more calls with people. They're selling to more clients, that kind of thing, okay? So regardless of how many people there are in your class, you will only spend X amount of time. So for me, the way I do my model, I have my coaching calls on Saturdays and Wednesdays with my clients. So on Saturdays, I'll have an hour and a half, and Wednesday, I'll have an hour and a half. Between the two of them, I spend 3 hours with the 26 clients I'm working with, all together, combined. That's it. That's how long it takes me to service all my clients. And the result that I was showing you for Monica, that has come from my group coaching program. So if you're thinking group coaching doesn't work, ask yourself, have you ever been to school before? Has that worked? Have you been to high school before? Has that worked? Have you been to college, university before? Has that worked? Chances are, if that's worked, this is going to work pretty well for you as well. I don't know why people have this obsession about one-to-one. One-on-one, believe me, is not as effective as having a community of people who have gone through the same exact steps, okay? So what I'd like you to consider is move away from a one-on-one model to a group coaching model. Why? Because if you're someone who's short on time, you can stay in the quote-unquote classroom for the same amount of time. Let's take a brand new sheet of paper here. Let's say you are you're a fitness coach, okay? And you want to teach people the basics of diet. How do you diet? What are carbs? What are proteins? All that stuff. Fats, right? If you have, let's say, 5 one-on-one clients, right? And each of them needs to know about this. You're going to spend, let's say, so an hour each, 3 hours each. Let's suppose 3 hours each. 9 hours of your time you're going to spend teaching the same exact thing over and over and over again. Every time you get a client, you teach them the same thing again and again and again and again. Imagine how redundant it is for you teaching the same thing again and again and again. So it's much easier to get a whole lot of people looking for the same thing. Think about like a French class, an Italian class, or whatever it might be, right? You're trying to get everybody from point A to point B. They'll have questions along the way. Let them ask them their questions because other people might have those same questions that they might not have thought about. So instead of spending 9 hours, you're only spending the 1 hour teaching the same material. Okay? and everybody's still paying the same amount. So let's say you're working with a one-on-one client for 1,000, and you're working with a group coaching program also for 1,000. Okay. And by the way, you can do this because I do it. All my clients do it, and it works so effectively because the medium through which you receive the information and transformation is not important, but it is how you receive it, whether you receive it. Does it matter to you whether you do one-on-one or group, as long as you make money? Whichever is most effective, right? Think about it like this. If you had to wait for me to tell you instructions 1 week, the next week, the week after that, wouldn't it be a lot easier if you had all that information available to you right at the start? You already know what to do. And if you have any questions along the way, you can kind of touch base. Do you really want to spend an hour every single week just trying to figure out what to do? It's not an efficient process, right? So if you can do one-on-one for 1,000 and a group for 1,000, right? In 3 hours, you're going to be telling 3 different people the same exact thing. Or in 1 hour, you can be telling 2 people all the way to 2,000 people, assuming there's how many clients you have, the same exact information, right? So it's so much more efficient for you, for your time. And this is how you don't get burnt out. This is how you scale your business. I don't know if you've seen any of my posts. I don't work a whole lot, right? If I'm working 3 hours on my business, this is how long it takes me to coach my clients in a given week, right? The rest of the time is spent on marketing, making YouTube videos, doing these live streams, that kind of thing. Tops, it's like 10 hours, 12 hours. That's it. Otherwise, I'm out cycling, I'm going for a jog, whatever. This is what I want to teach you. I want to teach you how to have a group coaching model that allows you the freedom of not spending your entire life doing one-on-one coaching. Now, the exception to that rule is if you just love doing one-on-one. If you love doing one-on-one, that's amazing. Have a one-on-one practice, but also have a group coaching model so you can scale your business. Have one-on-one clients, make that be your premium offer, and then have your group coaching model that is the centerpiece of your business. So you can serve as many people as possible. You can provide amazing results to as many people out there. And at the same time, you're not overloaded by time. You don't have a million different clients and you're like, I can't really keep up with these people. How am I going to serve all these different clients, keeping up with their keeping up with their stories, right? Because everybody's got a different situation going on. And I'll show you. Let me see. Some examples from my own coaching client results. There you go. Yeah. So here's, I take some of these screenshots from my client results. You can see people are missing MIA. They come back, they just make a sale or whatever. Like we see this on the group so often, right? So we'll see this person, all of these people are, by the way, one-on-one clients, right? They're doing the same thing. So book sales calls, they receive money, and I can kind of just go down the list. Didn't have to lower the rates. We go through everything from how do you get your clients? How do you price your rates? How do you get more money? All of it comes from a point of efficiency. How do I spend as little time as possible with my clients, provide them amazing transformation? And look, like people are upping their rates from like $900 to $2,400. And I can honestly just keep going on and show you more and more and more, but I don't want to bore you with that. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, in terms of your packaging, when you're exploring what to do in terms of efficiency, try to add a group coaching model, okay? Try to have a hybrid approach. Try to have something that's easy for you to grow over time, because you will find when you do one-on-one, eventually there's not enough time for you to follow, okay? Let's just break it down a little bit more so you can see from a bird's eye view. Well, let's break down the different models real quick. So we'll have, I think 1, 2, let's do 4. So you got one-on-one. Then you've got your, what's the other one? You've got your group, you've got your course, and then you've got a hybrid. All right. These are some of the models. Now, in my opinion, I only do this for a premium. So let's say I have clients who are like, hey, can you teach my entire team how to do this? Can you teach everybody how to do this? I can surely do that for you, but it's going to be at a higher premium price because I'm doing specifically for you. One-on-one, okay, now it takes too much time. I'm not a fan because I like having free time. I like doing what I want to do. I like going on vacations. I don't want to spend all my time on one-on-ones when I don't have to, okay? Then you have the group model where this is your standard. This is if anyone comes, hey, can you help me with X? You should be trying to sell them on your group coaching program just because it's more efficient and it just works so much better for everyone, right? Less time, which is the best. Less time, proven pathway because they're following what everyone else has already done. All right. Huge fan of this. Course is basically a video. So you have a video course. It's too cheap, right? It's hard to sell. People make all these funnels to sell. The amount of people that I've talked to who said, I've got click funnels, I've got this, that, blah, 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 and they haven't sold any of it. If I had a dime for every time people told me that, just forget about the course for now. I know the whole passive income thing is great, but if you can make 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 where you're coaching, so much more profitable than following a course model, okay? Then you have a hybrid. A hybrid is basically a mix between a group model plus a course model. So how do you teach people in a group setting and at the same time make that course evergreen? So once you've, say, taken 10, 15 people through your group coaching program, the results are absolutely amazing. People love it. How can you turn that same content into an evergreen process? So every time you get a new group, you don't have to teach them over and over again the same thing. Again, we're having the same problem as one-on-one where it's redundant, right? Where we're teaching them the same thing again and again. How can we then take everything we've taught in a group coaching model, create a course, supplement that course with support calls, and make sure the process is as efficient as possible for people, okay? So these are kind of the models people would start with. I think 99% of people starting in the coaching space will start one-on-one. You like doing one-on-one, great. If you're looking at one-on-one from a scaling perspective, it is severely limited by how much time you have. If you can only spend 2, 3 hours, 4 hours a week and get as many clients as you want, and I'm living proof of that. You can see how many people there are in my group, and I don't spend a whole lot of time because they're all getting amazing results. I'm pretty sure I can pull up one of the results too. Yeah, well, you know what? Well, let me just share it with you. I'll just show you some live proof. Where is it at? All right, I'm not sure if you can see my face here, but this is my group here. I coach my clients. This client just joined the other day. She followed my sales process. I've elongated my process just like you suggested, and my networking calls feel so much easier, much more natural, less lazy. I have 3 potential closing clients for Friday as of now. Bye-bye exhausting one-on-one, sustainable model, here I come. She literally joined my program 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I'm going to help her close these 3 clients by Friday, hopefully make her at least $5,000, okay? This is what I am trying to do with my clients, trying to get them off of the whole burnt out, working a full-time job, also trying to make a gig outside their job and just going crazy with it because I burnt out as well, all right? So in short, efficiency is the name of the game, all right? How can you spend as little time on your business, give as many transformations to as many people as you can, in the process, make a crap ton of money, okay? If that's something you're interested in, shoot me a message. Let me know what you're struggling with, because this whole group, this whole channel, what I'm trying to do is give you information, okay? If there's any kind of business you have and you're having trouble knowing how to escalate that, knowing how to make this kind of money, we've had clients make 20,000, 50,000, 2,000. Shoot me a DM, say, hey, Yasser, love your live stream, would love to talk. More than happy to talk to you. As always, let me know what else would be helpful. I'm here to serve. If there's any other topic that you want me to talk about, be more than happy to. See you in the next live stream. Take care.